So today we're diving into a story that's not just about a man, it's about a number. A single, almost mythical number that has come to define what greatness even means in sports. This is the incredible story of Sir Don Bradman. Here it is, 99.94. Now, if you're not a cricket fan, this probably just looks like, well, a number. But in the entire history of sports, this is one of the most sacred statistics ever recorded. It represents a level of dominance so complete, it honestly feels like it's made up. And here's the wild part, the thing that makes this story just so incredible. This legendary number, this symbol of being this close to perfection, was actually sealed by a moment of total, heartbreaking failure. How on earth does that happen? Well, that's the paradox we're going to unpack. To really get this number, we have to go all the way back to the beginning. And we're not talking about some high-tech training facility or elite coaching program. Nope. We're going to a simple backyard in rural Australia with a young boy and let's say, very unusual training partner. You gotta remember, Don Bradman was born way back in 1908. This was an era without the professional athletic systems we have today. We're talking basic wooden bats, pretty much no formal coaching, and skills that were honed through just pure, relentless, solitary practice. And this was his secret sauce, the now famous Bradman method. He'd take a small golf ball and hit it with a thin cricket stump against the curved base of a water tank. Imagine trying to react to that. The ball would just shoot back at him super fast and at all these crazy, unpredictable angles. This simple little game is what forged his almost superhuman reflexes. And let me tell you, that weird backyard training, it didn't just make him good, it turned him into an absolute monster on the cricket pitch, a force of nature who would go on to completely rewrite the record books. All right, check out this number, 974. In 1930, Bradman went to England and scored 974 runs in just one 5-match series. To give you an idea of how insane that record is still standing. Almost 100 years later, nobody's even gotten close. I mean, the way he dominated that tour was just staggering. He wasn't just getting runs. He was getting these massive, game-changing scores. At one point, he scored 309 runs in a single day of play, which back then was something people thought was basically impossible. Think about this for a second. He was so ridiculously good, so dominant, that the other team literally had to invent a whole new way to play the game just to try and stop him. And it wasn't just any tactic. It was dangerous, super controversial. They called it bodyline. They changed the rules of engagement, all for one guy. This chart really tells the whole story. It's just amazing. You look at the all-time greats of cricket, legends of the game, and their career averages are in that 45 to 55 range, which is fantastic. And then you have Bradman. He's not even in the same ballpark. He's in a completely different galaxy. Statistically, he was twice as good as anyone else. Okay, so that brings us to the final act, the last, most dramatic moment of his entire career, his very last match, where just 4 little runs stood between him and mathematical perfection. You can just feel the tension, right? So let's set the scene. It's August 1948, at the Oval in London, one of the most famous cricket grounds in the world. This is it. The last time Don Bradman will ever walk out to bat for his country. The entire world is watching. Now get this, walking out for that final innings, his career average was actually over 100. It was 101.39, just mind-boggling. All he had to do was not get out for 0, and that perfect 100 average would be his forever. The math was so simple. The goal couldn't have been clearer. All he needed was 4 runs, just 4. If he got 4 runs, his career average would be locked in at a perfect, beautiful, symmetrical 100. For the greatest batsman who ever lived, 4 runs, that's nothing. It should have been a walk in the park. And you have to picture the scene. As he walks onto the field, the English crowd, his rivals for so many years, they all get to their feet and give him this incredible standing ovation. It was just this moment of pure, universal respect for the master. And then it happened. The one thing nobody saw coming. Second ball he faces, he's out. For 0. A duck. His career was over. Just like that. 4 runs short of perfection. He didn't just fail to get 4 runs. He didn't score a single one. But this is where the story gets really interesting. Because that one moment of failure, that shocking 0. It didn't ruin his legacy. No way. In this strange, almost poetic way, it actually made it even more perfect. I mean, think about it for a second. A career average of 100.00 is perfect, sure, but it's also kinda clean, right? It's a neat, round number. But 99.94, that number has a story. It has character. It speaks to something almost mythical. This idea of being so impossibly close to perfection, it's more memorable than perfection itself. And, his legacy was always going to be more than just that one number. At a time when Australia was going through the Great Depression, he was this shining beacon of hope and national pride. He scored 29 centuries in just 52 matches, a rate that is just mind-blowing. He didn't just play the game, he set the standard for what greatness looked like. So, in the end, that number, 99.94, it stopped being just a statistic. It became a symbol. It represents the very outer limits of what's humanly possible in the sport. It's like Mount Everest for cricket, a peak that everyone who's ever played the game has looked up at, but no one has ever managed to climb. Which leaves us with one final thought. Does a truly great story really need a perfect ending? Don Bradman's story didn't have that flawless Hollywood finish. But maybe, just maybe, that one final human imperfection is what made his legend truly immortal.